Okay, so today's day we're going to have a go at moving this summer house, put it off as long as I can, but now I think we just need to get on with it. So I've taken out all the windows and the door, I've lifted it up and I've put these steels underneath. I'm going to just try and lift it up first, put the scaffolding poles underneath it, and then just get a sense of how heavy it is by sort of rolling it back and forward just to see how easy it moves, and then we'll take it from there. We do have to twist it round by 90 degrees, which isn't going to be so straightforward because we've got this concrete coal bucket thing there, so we'll just have to sort of pull it out first, and then see if we can rotate it round. Here goes. Okay, just about ready to go. I've got these two bottle jacks, each side lifted up. We need to get about 100mm clearance at this end so we can put the scaffolding poles in halfway along. They're about 50mm diameter, so I'll have one there, and then one at the end, and then we'll want to roll it forward about 1 metre to clear the concrete coal thing at the other side, and then we'll spin it around. Here goes. Okay, so that's phase one complete. We've managed to lift it up, get the poles underneath, and then lower it down again so that the whole frame is now just resting on these scaffold poles. I did give it a bit of a tug just to see how easy it is to move, and it doesn't move at all. So although there's nothing actually physically holding it down, we tried pulling and pushing it, but actually couldn't get any lateral movement on it at all, so we might have to rethink the next phase, but for now at least survived being lifted onto the scaffold poles, and have to have a rethink about the next step. Okay, so it's been a week since I last did anything on the summer house. It's still standing on its poles. It was evident that we couldn't pull it or push it, so I got this winch which I was researching. You can hire them, but for the same price as it would cost to hire it for the weekend, you can buy one. So you attach it to a tree, and then you just move the handle back and forward and it pulls the steel cable. So what we want to do is pull it forwards 1 metre or so first before we then try and angle it round towards the garden. And the only problem with the winch thing is you have to have a tree that's in the direction that you want to move it. So we've got a few trees around, so first of all pull it towards that one, and then we'll pull it across the garden that way, and then a tree at the back there to try and get it towards that the concrete pad there. So no idea how it's going to work, but let's give it a go. Okay, well that looks quite successful actually. I'm pretty happy with that. It was very easy to operate the handle back and forward. I've moved it forward about 1 metre, so hopefully now we're clear of the, just about clear of the coal bunker. Now I need to try and angle it, so I'm going to remove the move the cable from the eye, which is thankfully not pulled down the conservatory, and then we'll start trying to pull it round a bit. Hope the roof stays on. Okay. Right, I'll just start unwind the cable. Okay, so I've disconnected the winch from the eye bolt. Put a couple more scaffold planks down. I've also put a bit of grease, some of the stuff which I had lying around, particularly up this side, because this is the side that's going to have to move the most on the sort of the outside of the circle, so to speak. So I'm hoping that that might just reduce a bit of friction, help it to go around the corner, see what happens. Okay, I just did a couple of pulls on it. I didn't have the camera running, but it wasn't turning at all, it was just coming further forwards. So I don't want to go any more like that because the roof is already quite close to the conservatory. I need it to turn, so I need a more of an angle on the pull, which isn't ideal because that's the only tree that I've really got that's going to be strong enough. So I'm just going to have a go at sticking it around the side of this, which is quite heavy but probably not heavy enough. So I might have a bit of a rethink, maybe go to that far tree there until I can get it to turn, but let's just have a go with this, see what happens. Well, it's definitely working, I think. It's pulling it sideways, but now it's not pulling it forwards at all, so I'm starting to lose some of the poles, so I need to stop before these two poles at the front come unstuck. Let's have a look what it's like at the other side. Okay, I could maybe give those poles a bash. Okay, it's really tight to the edge of the conservatory now. I think with orientating the poles in the direction of the summer house, it's they've now started rolling forwards, which is not really what I wanted yet. I should have just waited, done one more hard pull to the side before I started rolling it, but they might be alright. it's completely off its foundation now. Yeah, it's going to be tight. Okay, so we've now changed tree to one at the other end of the garden, so we're going to spin it round again, and then hopefully it'll be quite straightforward to just pull it the length of the garden. There's a slightly down slope, which is good. Just have to keep checking the level, but so far so good. Okay, so here we are, getting there, just about turned it around, facing the right way. It's a bit more of a slope than I was expecting, which is causing a bit of a problem, because the front is just going down and I can't get the new pole from the back in underneath. And then this front bit's just dropped off, which isn't ideal. Still seems to be standing, but this is completely rotten underneath here. So that's sunk down, which makes it difficult to get the first pole in, but still going. I need to move it slightly more towards the middle of the garden, because it's going down too close to that bush there. I've got to get it through the gap, so I need to bring it more this side. I'm not quite sure how to do that. I'm going to try sort of levering it over a bit, see if that works. Okay, I've just switched to the phone because the iPad's run out of batteries. Onto the last tree now. So, I'm gonna bring it over there. Just got to thread it through this gap here. And I've just started cutting the poles in half, the ones that I haven't cut, because otherwise I'm not going to get through that gap. So as and when they come out the back, I'm just cutting them in half. So it's not ideal because they're only just wide enough, so you haven't got a lot to play with on either side. I'll just have to make sure the scaffold boards are tucked inside the frame. Okay, so next day, last sort of bit really, trickiest part though, trying to get it through this quite narrow opening here, sort of over the edge of the pad and then reverse back, hopefully onto it some point this afternoon. I've had to take it round quite a sharp turn, and as a result of that I've got planks and the poles are just all over the place, so it's a bit of a mess to be honest. But last night I was just so desperate to get as much as I could done. I was probably cutting a few corners, so there's a pole that's disappeared under there. I've got boards all over the place. Dug up a load of earth where I was trying to lever it round. So just gonna have a look, make sure I've got enough boards underneath it, and then pull it forwards. Here we go. Okay, I think that's done. Wow. A close up. Bit of an overlap, but should be okay. Huh? Now I just need to work out how to get the poles out. No idea how I'm going to do that. To be honest, I didn't even think it would get this far, so very happy with how that's turned out. So we started yesterday,